What's up, runners? It's Justin, your average running PT, and I want to show you guys some very basic single leg strength and stability exercises specifically for you, the runner. Now, if you remember from a previous video, I told you guys that I like to keep strength training for runners extremely simple. And the way that I do that is that I do one very specific exercise every time I walk into the gym. That's a hex bar deadlift. And then secondly, I always end up doing some sort of single leg strength or stability exercise. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you guys 3 basic strength and stability exercises that you can start to incorporate into your strength training so that it facilitates and helps to improve your overall running by improving that single leg strength and stability. So exercise number 1 is going to be a single leg squat or a step down. Exercise 2 is going to be a single leg deadlift. And exercise 3 is going to be single leg hopping variations. So let's get right into this. Let me show you the first exercise. So here's the first single leg exercise that I like to incorporate for people in their strength training programming. It's called a single leg squat, and it's just the way that it sounds. If a normal squat is here, where you just drop down like this, a single leg squat, you're going to actually stick one leg out in front of you, and then you're going to perform a squatting motion. Now, it becomes a lot harder to control whenever you squat down. But what I want you to think about and make sure that you're paying attention to whenever you do this exercise is what's going on with your whole lower body. Are you letting that knee dive in towards the middle? Is it shooting way out to the side? What you should be aiming for is a good straight alignment between your hip, knee, and foot. Okay, so if that leg comes out in front, you drop down into a squat. That foot, knee, and hip should all stay in good alignment, and your hips should stay level with the ground. You shouldn't get a lot of hip drop or anything like that. So with this single leg squat, you're just going to stick one leg out in front, and down, and back up. Okay? Now, you can also do a step down, which is very similar. You're just doing it on a step, and it makes it a little bit easier because you're not having to hold your leg out in front of you so far. You can just let that leg hang down, and then you can squat down and back up. Now you can do this on a step, or you can do this on a higher box. And then also, you could, based on your balance level, you can use something to stabilize yourself, whether you're doing the squat or the step down. Find something stable to just touch lightly, step down, bring it right back up. Always, always, always remembering to keep that knee, hip, and foot all in really good alignment. Okay? So there you have single leg squat or step down. The second exercise I want to show you guys is a single leg deadlift. Now, this is going to look kind of similar initially because you're going to start on one leg, just like we did before. But what you're going to do is you're going to let that leg kick back behind you as your body hinges forward. And when I say hinges, I mean it's going to hinge right here at your hips. Your back is going to stay straight. Your knee is going to have a slight bend to it as you go through this motion. You're going to hinge forward here, keeping that back straight, slight bend in the knee here. Again, you're thinking about what's the alignment between your foot, your knee, and your hip, and then you're bringing it back up. And also on this one, you want to make sure that your hips stay level to the ground. You're not getting here and then twisting and opening up necessarily. That's a different exercise, which is also something you can incorporate later down the road after you master the regular single leg deadlift. Okay, so again, on one leg, kicking that one leg back behind you, hinging at the hips, hinging forward, bringing it right back up. You should feel a tension in your hamstring as you get down. Here, that's when you stop, and then you bring it right back up. I don't want you going to a point where you then round out through your back and come back up. That's not as effective, okay? So there you have single leg deadlift. And finally, what I want you to do is a single leg hopping variation. Now there's a few different ways that you can do this. You can do forward to back. You could do side to side. Or you could do an L hop, which combines forward, back, side to side. So you can go forward, back, side, side, forward, back, side, side. Okay? So single leg hopping variations are going to help you with that dynamic balance and work on that controlling, that plyometric activity. Still, just like with the other ones, you're thinking about what's the alignment between your hip, your knee, and your foot. Okay? You should never be getting this kind of diving inward motion at your knee. It's going to put a lot of stress on the knee over time. You should be well under control of your ability to hop and go in different directions. Okay? So there you have single leg hopping variations. Now of course, if you wanted to intensify these exercises a little bit, they become really easy for you as you get stronger and more stable, then you can start to add weights to your exercises. So if you wanted to do a single leg squat with some sort of extra weight in your hands, you could do that, stick that leg out in front, and then you're still working on that single leg squat stability. Okay? Same thing with a step down. You're up, stepping down, and back up. Down, and back up. And of course, with the single leg deadlifts, you can do the exact same thing. Let those weights come down towards your other foot, bring it right back up. Down, and right back up. Now if you start adding in these single leg exercises along with the hex bar deadlift that I've talked about in the past, then I think what you're going to start to see is not only are you gaining a lot of extra strength, but that stability is really recruiting a lot of those smaller stabilizer muscles that are going to help you a lot as you get into your races. And those extra little stabilizer muscles kicking in provide a lot of extra power that you don't realize that you're actually missing. So make sure that you guys like this video and make sure you leave a comment down below and hit that subscribe button, because I'm going to take you guys from being average runners to above average. And as always, move with freedom.